Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Yip, also known as Megan, and today I'm painting a little watercolor bird. This is a scissor-tailed flycatcher. Very cool bird. Has a very long tail that kind of resembles scissors, hence the name. I am working in a cotton watercolor sketchbook from Mossery Co. And currently I'm just using ultramarine blue and burnt sienna mixed in various ratios. I really like those two colors together combined because you can get some really beautiful blues and browns and grays out of it. I really love the way when the paint starts drying, the ultramarine kind of settles into the grooves of the paper. It makes a really pretty effect that unfortunately I end up mostly covering up towards the end of the painting. As you can see, I'm getting most of my shading in through just adding more layers of the same color mixes. Sometimes I add in more blue, sometimes more of the brown, but the paint is drying pretty quick. I don't have very much water in my washes, so it soaks into the paper pretty quick, and I can keep adding more layers to make the feathers darker, add a little bit more dimension to it. As you can see, I'm also working wet into wet a little bit. Before it fully dries, I'll just add in a little bit more color and it bleeds out into the surrounding area. After I finish with the base color of ultramarine and burnt sienna, I'm starting to add a little vermilion, a little bit of a warm yellow, just to get the bright feathers on the bird. Then I go in with the background wash. Now this is a cobalt blue, which honestly I don't notice a huge difference between cobalt blue and ultramarine, so I could have continued with the ultramarine here. Both kind of have that same quality of creating like a sediment in the paper, and then are just a real pretty basic blue. I love how it looks watered down. For the brushes, I started out with a slightly smaller round brush. I'm just using round brushes in this painting. Right now you can see I'm using a silver brush. That's the brand Silver Black Velvet. I really love these brushes. They're a mix of synthetic and real hair, but I've had this one for years and years, and it's held up really well. So I enjoy using that one. Here I'm coming in with my TWSBI fountain pen. Normally I like doing ink lines before I watercolor, but right now this pen happens to be loaded with ink that is not waterproof. So if I were to come back over with paint and water now, the black ink would bleed everywhere on the page. So I'm just doing it afterwards. This is a medium nib pen. Ideally, I probably, if I were to do this again, I'd probably come back in with a fine nib instead. I think the lines were a little too dark, a little too bold, for my personal preference, because it covered up a lot of the watercolor. And here you can see I'm using just a white gel pen. I believe it's a Sigma brand pen. Just to add a little texture, bring back in some of the white and the feather texture that I lost with the black lines and the layers of watercolor. I don't normally use white gel pen in my art, but since it was already a mixed media piece with the ink lines, I just thought it'd be nice to bring in some of that white ink as well. And that's the finished piece. As you can tell, I sped it up quite a bit. This actually took me a few hours to complete. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you got some sketching done. Thanks for joining.